Go live. Give it a second. Hi, everybody. We are so excited that you are here. We are Educational Technology, and we are excited to talk about how we can make Canvas great with assignments. So my name is Misty Shea, and I have my amazing coworker with me, Christy Harold.
Hey
And
everyone.
we are your Keller ISD Educational Technology team.
All right. If you're new to this whole YouTube live thing, or if it's your first Kickstart Your Learning that you've attended with us, we want you to participate by chatting with us in the channel chat. If your screen looks like this and you see the video feed, but you don't see the chat right here, we need you to do a few steps, and we'll be asking you questions throughout the course of the training so that we know you're participating and engaging with the content by participating in the chat. So go ahead if you haven't yet and start introducing yourself in the chat. Tell us what campus you're at and what grade level or content you teach so that we know who's here. Again, if it's your first rodeo, let me give you a few steps so that you can see that chat. In order to see the chat window on a YouTube Live, you have to have created your YouTube channel. And that's great. You're going to create your YouTube channel with your Keller ISD email address. So it is your Keller ISD YouTube channel. What you'll need to do is you're going to click your avatar that's in the top right-hand corner of your window. Now, your avatar might be a blank circle, almost like the picture's hidden or missing. That's okay. Find that blank circle and click on it. It's going to pop out a menu, and one of your choices is going to be create a channel. So you're looking for the menu, and your first choice is create a channel. This will open up a window for you, and you're going to use this side or the choice that's use your name. So your channel is going to be named your name. So go ahead and select the side that says use your name. Last, you're going to save and continue. You're going to scroll down through all of the yes, you agree, and save and continue. So 3 quick steps. Click your profile image in the top right. Again, you may not see the picture. It may just be a blank circle like the picture's missing. Create a channel. Use your name and select, and then scroll down and save and continue. That will open up your channel. You may have to refresh your page to get back to the video feed. If you do, we'll still be here at that same link, which is www.kellerisd.net/KIC kickstart. And just a word of information, all of our kickstarts always live at that channel. So if you wanted to watch one from the past, you just use that link tomorrow. It's going to take you to our playlist of all of our kickstarts. So you'll be able to see this one and any past kickstart we've done. All right, you're in for some great content tonight, like how I did that. We are going to be talking about making Canvas great. High school teachers and even some of our middle school teachers, you've jumped on the Canvas rollout train and you're riding along and you're posting your materials for your students, and your students know what they missed when they're absent. And you guys have done so amazing. We have been so proud of you. We've seen some cool stuff. We've had a few hiccups with our template. But don't worry, we are still working on making it better for next year. And we want you to start thinking about the next step that will make your Canvas great. So today we just chose a topic. We're going to start with assignments. So let's dive in. All right. So we're not going to take you through the whole part of creating an assignment. I'm going to pause really quick and I'm going to share again where you can see both of my screens. Now you should be seeing the slides on the left and my actual Canvas course that I'm going to be working in tonight. So hopefully that'll give you, we'll do some talk about it and then show it over here on the right. So the first thing that assignments will do for you is assignments will, with due dates, have a little bit of an advantage for your students. They give your students information. They give them clues about reminders of the assignment. They can be very, very helpful for students. So due dates, amazing on assignments. So when you're in Canvas, if you choose to add an assignment, when you're in the editing part, your rich content editing box, remember your assignment could have lesson resources that you've already provided, or maybe you're providing the resources here, such as text, links, embedded presentations, images, videos, whatever you want to add. Your assignment should include assignment directions, and those can be done with text, links, embedded presentations, images, videos, or any material that a student might need to complete the assignment. But all of that can be done in your rich content editing box. So whatever you choose to give the student for the assignment, you're going to be sure that your directions are clear, just like you would for any assignment in your classroom. When you come down to the bottom, you're going to give your assignment 100 points. And Misty's going to talk a little bit more about these parts later, like what types of assignments you can give. But when we're talking about due dates, we're going to go all the way to the bottom and look at this assign box at the bottom. By default, Canvas is going to say, hey, do you want to give this assignment to everyone? And right now we're going to talk about it that way, because in a second, I'm going to talk about how you can differentiate, which is so cool. But if you're giving this assignment to everyone, and you're giving it a due date. So the due date on this one is November 30th at 8:30 a.m. And I don't want my students to see it before November 29th at 9 a.m., which is the middle of my first period. I don't want that assignment to be open to them before that. So I'm going to have it open up at 9 a.m. on the 29th, but it's due the next morning when they walk into class. So it's due the next day at 8:30 a.m. So once I do that, two things happen for the student. On their calendar, which their calendar in Canvas is over here on the blue bar in the global navigation panel. They can click calendar and they see my assignment. They see that it's due Thursday morning at 8:30. The cool thing for students is all of their Canvas classes are over here. And if they have all of their teachers using Canvas and they can turn on certain classes, so let's turn on maybe educational technology, anything that would be due in this course would be on this calendar in red, as long as it has a due date. If it doesn't have a due date, the calendar doesn't have any way to know when it should be due. So anything with a due date will show up on their calendar. So on one day, they might have multiple color boxes here for different Canvas classes. And the cool thing about this is even if you do paper assignments and the students are going to submit something actually in person in class, if you go ahead and add it as an assignment in Canvas with a due date, they'll still see it. And Misty's going to talk a little bit later about how to do that. So not everything has to be a digital turn-in. It's almost a way to keep that agenda digitally for students in Canvas, something they're already using. And this is amazing on the app too. They have the calendar on the app. So that's a really cool connection as well. One other place I want to show you where that assignment shows up is in their Canvas course on the homepage. They have a little coming up box kind of right here section of their homepage. And I can see that assignment right here as well. Same assignment. I see it on my calendar here. I see it on the homepage of my course here, and I can link straight to it in both places. So that's really cool. Okay, so besides due dates, what else can we do in Canvas? Differentiation. This one's huge. You guys know that in your classes, your Canvas classes that were rostered for you, multiple sections came in for you. And let's get this having a second. Maybe my internet's running slow while we're streaming. We'll wait and see if the settings on this class will pop up. Oh, yay, there they are. In your settings, at the top, your tabs, you've got a sections tab. And so what was rostered for you in Aries was probably your subject, and then period 1, period 3, period 4, period 7, period 8, whatever you teach this same content in. So you probably have all these sections and you have your varying number of users or students who are in your class in these sections. Well, one cool thing about this area of Canvas is you can add additional sections. So I might have a section for students who need additional time in the class. And so if I add that section, It's going to pop right here. Now, I don't have any users in it yet. So I do have to add my users. So to do that, I'm going to come over to my course menu, my course navigation, and I'm going to find my people button. And in my people section, I can use my 3 dots to add students to a section. So technology test has a modification or an accommodation where they need extra time. So now, although they're part of the class as a whole, and then period 3, they're also going to be part of this section. So I'm going to update that. Now, when I go back to my assignment, one thing I can do, which is really cool, is I don't have to assign this to everyone. I can come down to my assign box, and instead of everyone, I'm going to cross out that everyone box. I can choose my students who need more time. Do we see it in there? Wonder if it's, there we go. So I know that this group of students needs more time. So I still want it to open on November 29th, but I'm going to extend their due date to December 4th. And then I'm going to add a box because I need everyone to do this assignment. So now I could go through my class periods because their due dates will be a little bit different, or I can do everyone. So what Canvas is going to do, let's just make our due date tomorrow. And I'm not going to worry about the times right now, but now I have this due date for my students who need additional time. And I have this due date for everyone else. And obviously I would make it the time I wanted to. And then when I save, students aren't going to know that theirs is different from anyone else's. So adding additional sections to group students for differentiation is a huge win in Canvas. So that's something you might want to try. If you need a little bit more help, we'll give you these slides at the end of the night tonight. And this link right here will tell you exactly how to do this, and it will walk you through those steps. So in the chat, if you're watching, I would love for you to tell us if due dates or sections might help you organize for your students in your Canvas course. So add that to the chat while we transition on, and Misty's going to share something cool with us next.
Thank you, Christy. That was awesome. I am going to share over you and we can get started on the next section. I'm really excited. Continue, and we're going to share our desktop. Cool. All right. So we are going to start with modules. So Christy showed you how to add due dates to assignments, but in order for students to really get that linear part of Canvas and to have just an understanding of this is what I do now, this is what I'm going to do next, this is where all my assignments are. Oh, we're in unit 1, 2, and 3. We always tell teachers to start with modules. So we want them to have some kind of linear numeric organization where students know I started with unit 0, now I'm on unit 1, and next is unit 2. And then within the unit, you can organize those assignments so that students know in a linear fashion what's next. And then these are just some options of what it could look like, where there's unit 1, 2, 3. And then some people even organize it by the week. So it really depends on your content and your organization scheme. And sometimes it depends on your students. One year you might be able to do units, but then you have a different group of kids with a different group of needs, and they might do better with a week unit or a week module. So it really differs depending on your student's need, but names do have power. So keeping consistent with your names. So you'll notice that this teacher just did week and week and week and week. And then this one did unit and then did the name after that. And they did the little emoji numbers. And then this teacher did unit 1 with the name, but then under here, 1, 1.01, 1.02, just for that consistency and that something that students can just that like I said, consistency where students know what to expect and they know where to go. And honestly, that's going to take a lot off of your shoulders as a teacher because the kids are going to start understanding your naming conventions and how you organize your Canvas as you go through all of the weeks we're in school. So once you add a module, from modules, it's very easy to add an assignment right there. So I'm actually going to come over here to my Canvas and I'm going to go to modules. And Christy and I both use this for our thing, but I've made unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. And so let's say I'm on unit 3 now. There's nothing in here. I come straight over here to my plus sign and I click it and I can add an assignment here. I could also add all the other things that you can use in Canvas, but I'm going to add an assignment, create assignment, and I can name my new assignment. So I'm going to name it for the Kickstart today, and I get to add my item. And from there, you have to click on it and then click edit in order to start adding everything for your assignment. And I love what Christy said earlier. Even if they're not turning in a piece of paper, I love making things an assignment because of having a due date. So it goes on their to-do list, their agenda, their calendar, just one more layer of helping students learn to be organized. That's really not a skill we focus on a lot. So I think this is one way that Canvas really rocks it out on helping kids to organize their life, organize and keep everything there so that they know what's coming up next. Over here, I do want you to notice some of again, the ways that people organize assignments underneath the modules, using numbers, having a unit overview at the top, keeping things in a similar order with similar naming conventions. A lot of teachers use emojis, like every time they have something the kids that are going to read, they have a book. And I think Christy's going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. But just again, I know I keep saying it and repeating it, but consistency with students is key so that they know every module I'm going to have something to read, I'm going to have something to watch, I'm going to have something to whatever in that order. And it just, again, it helps you and it helps students navigate through Canvas. And again, modules one more time. I definitely sang Britney Spears in my head just then. Don't reinvent the wheel. So if you are that teacher and you're going to have this similar thing every single module, make a copy of it, duplicate it. So I can come up here to the 3 dots in my module and I can make a copy, duplicate. So I can duplicate assignments in there. I can copy modules. Let me go into an assignment. I apologize. Open. So if I'm always going to have this at the top, I can get there and, oh, that was a link. I'm killing, oh, there it is. Okay. So if I'm always going to have the practice page at the beginning of every single module, I made my new module, I can just click it, duplicate it. And then this is my copy. I love that it tells me which is my copy and I just drag it to my unit 3 because every unit I'm going to start with the same thing. And the cool thing is when I open it up, the same content is going to be in there and I just need to edit it. So if you always have a resource page at the beginning of every single module, make a copy, edit it for that unit and keep going. Do not reinvent the wheel. Another thing that happens a lot of times is you made a copy of a Canvas course from last year. And so all of your assignments live in this assignment index. And kids don't see all of these, but you also don't see it when you're in module. So in order to get this assignment to modules, you will need to click on the 3 dots, move to, and then a window's going to pop out over here on the side where I can choose where to move it to. And so that's a huge piece that is important. Same thing with the different assignments. I love to drag and drop. That's like my happiness. So if you grab these little things, you can drag and drop. And then you can also copy from other courses, which I have over here in the directions. So just a couple of different things you can do to make life easier so you're not constantly building. And then at the end of the year, you have that entire course built that you can copy over for the next year. So you're not putting in consistent work like a whole lot of work every single year. All right, Christy.
All right. We're going to look at consistency. And Misty mentioned it once, but consistency is super important for kids. It's important for our students. It's important for us. I mean, if we were all to really, truly talk about it, we are creatures of habit and we like consistency. It helps us be successful. So let's give our students that same help by making things consistent. Misty mentioned it about naming conventions, and we're going to talk about it a little bit with assignments here as well. So in the chat, tell me one way that you try to have consistency in your assignments right now, whether they're in Canvas, whether they're in your classroom and they're always on a certain place in your whiteboard. How are you consistent for students within your assignments? And
Hey,
as you're,
Christy, I'm going to stop you. I'm seeing your YouTube window. I just wanted to let you know.
thank you. Let's try this again. There we go. Better.
Awesome. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Love when technology works like it's supposed to. that was definitely user error. Okay, so let's talk about consistency using your rich content editor because the amazing rich content editor in Canvas gives us so many ways to be consistent. You can help your students and yourself by using a consistent format, consistent order, consistent visual cues, and consistent course images. And we're going to talk about each of those really quickly. Let me make sure I got the right one. There we go. Consistent format and order. So I'm going to share a couple of things over here on the Canvas side real quick. We did a book study once through Canvas, and it was about 10 chapters. And so to keep it consistent, we had emojis that went with the chapter. And then we used little emoji numbers, read. Number two, choose what you're going to do. We gave a lot of choice in this book study. This was a great book study, by the way. It's called Illuminate. It's a great ed tech book. And then number three was usually what you're going to do with that chapter, how you're going to reflect or respond to it. And at the bottom, we use a little star for our resources if people wanted to go further in an area. But every single chapter looked exactly like this. A little emoji that went with the theme of the chapter, 1, 2, and 3. And that was it. So that teachers knew when they turned the page to the next chapter, oh, this is going to look the same. I know exactly what to do. Another way we tried to use consistency in Canvas was recently when we rolled it out to you guys. If you took one of our Canvas courses, either asynchronously or you joined us in person and we put you in a course, all of our Canvas teaching pages had a very similar format and order. At the top would describe what the learning piece was. We had these little dots to separate the teaching piece. And so we always embedded the teaching piece right here in the middle. Then we used a little star. If Canvas had an extra resource that was a video, we embedded that there. Then number two was always, what are you doing with this content? How can you show us you've read it, you've learned it? And then at the bottom, we had resources. So here, instead of using emojis, we use consistent graphics, and we'll talk about how to do that as well. So use it for consistent format and order, numbering, using similar pictures. All of that will help your students with success. So like I mentioned, emojis are a popular thing to use and kids love them. Misty already said it once. If you want your students to read, put a little book emoji in front of it. If you need them to do something in order, use numbers. If you need them to watch something, there's video emojis or the big eye emojis. I love those. If you want them to listen, find an emoji that equates to listening. If something's important, use an important emoji. If they're turning it in by paper or digitally, like help your students differentiate those by using some type of context clue. Another way that you could differentiate is with color. So if you look at color rules, there's all kinds of colors that mean certain things, but use a certain color or shape to differentiate what a student would be doing. So those are just some examples. Another great way to have a consistent format in a Canvas assignment is to use images. So you might use something like a light bulb for the objective or the essential questions. You might use something like this for your lesson materials, resources, assignment directions, just something that the students connect with and that you use over and over again consistently. Tip here, once you've uploaded images into Canvas, they stay in that course. So you never have to upload again. Instead of choosing upload when you go to grab an image, you just choose course image and you choose from your list. Another great thing we've done before, which is really cool, is a lot of times at the bottom of our classes in Canvas, we'll have something called unpublished templates. And so we might have an assignment template right here that we never publish, but it's got all the images or the emojis in the right order. And then we just duplicate that and go back and add the content that we need. So this is one thing that's easily duplicated, like Misty did earlier, and then you drag it up to wherever you want it to be, and it's ready for you to use. So help yourself by creating a template and then use it over and over again. One fun thing that you can do in Canvas is make your own icons. So I will show you what that looks like really quickly. So if you're not the kind of person that wants to go find graphics or make them in Canva, that doesn't bring you joy. That's just a time waste for you. No worries. You can make them right here in Canvas. When you're in any a page, an assignment, a discussion, any part of Canvas where you have the rich content editor, you have a little shapes button that is actually an icon maker. So you can access any saved icons you've already made, super for different Canvas classes, or you can create your own. And you start right here by adding a title to it. You can do alt text, or you can just describe it as something that's decorative. You can choose your shape since the words are, well, actually, we'll do a hexagon for this one. Then you can change the size and the color. There's limited number of colors. I think you might can add your own. Nope, just have to choose from those. You can do an outline, and then you can change that color, and you can add text, and your text can be different sizes. Your text can be different colors. You can add a background to your text, and then you can add the position for where you want that text to go. It could go up in the middle. I'm going to put this at the bottom third because last, you can add an image. And note here that you can upload your own images, or Canvas has some that are already built in for you. So this one looks like an assignment for me. I want it to be white on that icon, and I can apply. And now I have an icon I created. So super quick, super easy. That's a fun little button in Canvas, creating your own icons. Let me save this really quick, and I'm going to show you, whoops, an icon we created when we were rolling out and we did you guys Canvas PLC launch. This little guy right here, your Start Here button on your Canvas launch course, was created in Icon Maker in Canvas. So you can do all kinds of things, make cute things, make it more personal, making your own in Canvas without worrying about taking the time to go outside of Canvas. All right, Misty, I think I'm turning it back over to you. So share on top of me.
Thank you so much. All of that. Like I as an adult learner thrive when the same organization, I love colors, like resources, reading, anything a different color, and keeping those same colors from every assignment and everything I add on Canvas. And students thrive as well. So we're going to talk about submission types. So when you're creating an assignment, you have multiple ways you can tell a student what's going to happen with this assignment. So the very first one is no submission. So if you are just using Canvas as a resource place to add your videos, your resources, the handouts, PDFs, all of that. Your PowerPoint's awesome. And the students aren't actually turning something in. So even though you want it to be an assignment so it can go as a due date and go on their calendar, you can choose no submission, which is the very first option when you're creating an assignment. So down here, when you edit and you've added all your information, you'll come down here to submission type. And it automatically shows as no submission. So that would just mean, hey, you're not turning anything in. I'm just letting you know this information. I might put a due date, all of that on there. However, you can also, since we're on a no submission, you can put it that it's on paper. So you're turning in a paper in class. And so that's a good way for the students to know that there's nothing to submit online. You're going to do it in class on paper. Some other options you have, one of my favorite is online. So when you do an online entry, this could be a text entry. So a lot of time a text entry, I'll use text entry and website URL, kind of similar. So a text entry is you want them to respond to something you've put in there, or maybe give you a link or give you access to something. It's just either a short text response or adding a link of something they created maybe in Canva or somewhere else where you wanted the link to whatever they did. You can have them do a media recording right in Canvas, student annotations, and then you can also do file uploads. So file uploads would be, they are going to upload a PDF. They're going to upload an image. They're going to, any digital thing that they can upload an MP3, it'll take it. I do not recommend restricting the file type, only because we've run into a lot of issues where you restrict it to a PDF and then for some reason their computer doesn't recognize it or Canvas doesn't recognize it, and then the student can't submit. So I like to keep it just generic file upload, where they can upload their work in whatever file format, whether it's docs, PDF, PowerPoint, any kind of digital file that they can upload into Canvas for you to grade. So there's a lot of options on submission type. Another option for submission types are external tools. So external tools are things that completely embed and the student can turn back into Canvas. So if you click external tool, you have to click here to find. And so one that we use a lot is Google. So let me go find the Google LTI assignment. So this is a way for you to assign them a Google Doc. It's going to make a copy. So it's going to pull this up. You're going to attach a copy or attach it so that they can make a copy. I'm seriously going to choose just something. It'll make a copy for each student. I'm going to grade it either in Google, but I prefer to grade it in SpeedGrader because SpeedGrader has so many cool options to grade. I can give audio feedback, video feedback. I can put a link. It's just so cool. And then I create. And when I do that, it completely embeds that into their, I'm going to click select. It completely embeds it into their Canvas. Unfortunately with Google, I can't show you what it looks like because the students see like a actual Google page. It's really cool. So it'll actually load, and when they open their assignment, it's going to show your Google Doc right there, embedded there, and then they'll click on it and it'll open in Google, and they're going to complete it and then turn it right back in, and you're going to see it in your SpeedGrader and in your stuff. This works for tools like Google, Adobe Express, Microsoft, etc. There's also a way to, let me go back to my module. There's also a way to do things like Canva through the app. So I can actually, let me go back to my practice. Oh, there's Christy's face. Hi, Christy's face. Sorry. This is the practice page. This is our sandbox, so we do fun things in here. So I am in an assignment. Up here, there's a plug. It's called a plugin and add-in. There's Canva for education. There's Microsoft. There's YouTube. So in Canva, the same way, you can add an assignment, and then the kids will get a copy of it. You can embed it in the page, a new design for each student, and it's going to embed it in there. So this is the copy, and the student is going to get an option to click on it, make a copy, and turn it right back in inside of Canvas. So it's really awesome at a lot of the add-ins. And there's a lot of add-ins and things that you can use within Canvas. So you're not just limited to just a basic assignment where they're turning in just a file upload or an image or a text or a URL. You have all of those external tools that you can turn in. Christy, I'll get off your face so you don't have to look at it. All the external tools that you can turn in, the apps and the LTIs that integrate. I do want to show you over on the left side. This is where you're going to see your Writable, McGraw-Hill, Delta Math, Microsoft, Nearpod. Some of those are over here on the left side, depending on what you have on your campus and what content you teach. So if I'm not a math teacher, I might not see this Delta Math. We kind of rule it all here in EdTech, so we kind of have to see all of it. But you might not be a math teacher, so that might not be pertinent to you or your students, so you wouldn't have access to that. OneNote is here. There's a lot of things that you can use within Canvas to have students turn things in. We do want to point you to some of our resources. One of our big resources that we've put a lot of effort into is our KIC website. On our KIC website, I want to point to our Canvas page because we have videos, we have an entire Canvas guide for teachers. And on that Canvas guide, you can go do the specific things we talked about today so that you can learn more. Or I want to know how to do the Google LTI thing she just showed me. Or I want to now add some more things to assignments. Or I want to do this or that. It's all here in our Canvas guide on our KIC website. Also, the KIC website is also on your KCloud. It is hashtag or # EdTech KISD in KCloud as well. So you have a couple of ways to get to our KIC site and then to our Canvas page on the KIC site so that you can see all of the trainings we have, all of the different things we have for you. And then, of course, if you were always wondering all the cool things that we have coming up, follow us on social media. We are at EdTech KISD on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then we have a YouTube channel that houses all of our past Kickstart Your Learnings and all of the videos that we've put together for you so that you can use all of the things that we have here in Keller ISD. And then finally, we wanted to leave with the bit.ly so you could have access to this slide deck after you go. It is just bit.ly, make Canvas great. So bit.ly / make Canvas great, all lowercase letters, so that you can have this and refer back to it. But like I said, you could always go to our YouTube channel and watch this over and over and over again as many times as you would like. Any questions? We are so thankful that you were here today. We cannot wait to see how you are making your Canvas great with all the really cool tips and tricks we gave for assignments. Oh, I probably shouldn't bring up the YouTube stuff while online. You were getting a glimpse into the back end. I'm glad I realized that. Christy, anything you want to leave with? My keywords are consistency and any really cool things you can add into an assignment to keep the kids going, like using number conventions and naming it the same way and keeping your modules organized in the same fashion.
Yeah, if you were new to Canvas this year and this was your first year to deep dive in, try an assignment this month. It's December. I mean, are the kids really listening anyway? Try one. Try starting your assignment template so that you start to have that consistency. Don't be afraid to get your feet wet and try something new in Canvas. It's so rich with possibilities.
And remember, EdTech is just an email away. You can definitely reach out to us. We are always willing to collaborate and help you in any way we can.
Thanks, guys, for coming tonight. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.